Number 2, he wins the Super Bowl, but no MVP or Super Bowl MVP. 3, wins Super Bowl MVP, but no regular season MVP. That would be the one to me. If Brock Purdy's the Super Bowl MVP, that'd probably be the best story.
It'd be pretty special, but...
Oh, you're cute.
Well, no, I mean, but I think just winning the Super Bowl at this point. If Brock Purdy doesn't win Super Bowl MVP... No, if he doesn't win Super Bowl MVP, I don't think that really matters. I think it's number 2 to me.
Yeah, I agree. But I think...
What if Charvarius Ward has 2 picks again and has a pick 6 and he's Super Bowl MVP? That doesn't take away from what Brock has done this year.
Who would have been the Super Bowl MVP from yesterday? Yesterday was the Super Bowl. Who'd you give it to? Yeah.
Probably Brock.
4 touchdowns, no picks. What about McCaffrey?
Yesterday, so I was doing overtime yesterday after the 49ers game. Whoop. And I kind of had this thought.
Who did the Warriors?
I did.
Well, who did the Warriors post-game?
I did.
So wait a minute. Let me just do... Who did the 49ers pregame?
I did.
Who did the 49ers post overtime?
I did.
Then who did the Warriors pre?
I did.
And who did the post?
I did.
All right.
Yeah.
And who's doing the show right now?
It was a long day.
Yay!
God damn it, Steiny. Okay. The point is...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, I just had a thought during overtime watching McCaffrey and Purdy. It's like there's only been 3 instances in which there's been co-MVPs from different teams. There's never been co-MVPs from the same team in the NFL, right? There's been Steve McNair and Peyton Manning in 2003. In 1997, it was Brett Favre and Barry Sanders. And then in 1960, it was Norm Van Brocklin and Joe Schmidt. If you told me that Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy were going to be named league co-MVPs as teammates, I would be with you. That's kind of how I felt watching the game yesterday.
It's a little gutless, though. You got to admit.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it's a little gutless.
I don't know how you separate them, though.
Because you have to. That's all. You have to.
Okay, so who's your MVP yesterday?
I was Charvarius Ward.
Oh, my God.
I mean...
But you said the defense only gave up actually 22 points.
But to me, if you're going to... I brought that up for a point, but to me, he made the most important play of the game, even though if he doesn't make it, they probably still win. Right?
Yeah.
Pete's in L.A. What's up, Pete? How you doing, man? Pete, L.A.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up, man?
It's actually Neil, but that's okay, man. I appreciate you guys taking the call.
What's up, Neil?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the argument that, Brock Purdy's the reason why we're going to lose. There's no more excuses left in the media. They just keep saying, there's one last thing. You got a cast of Avengers. You have everything you have, but Purdy's going to be the reason why you're going to lose the Super Bowl. And I don't get that because I think the main thing is if there's always been a one-possession game in these games. You just talk about Seattle, you talk about Jacksonville, you talk about even Tampa Bay. There was that one-possession game in the half, and he responds with a touchdown. We barely see Jake Moody. Where is he? I haven't seen this guy. He gets one field goal maybe once in a while, but I just feel that argument's going to die out soon. So I wonder what you guys think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like right now we're looking at the most complete team in football. By the way, they did look a little different with Sam Darnold for those few plays.
That's another reason I think Brock Purdy is gaining even more steam towards most valuable player. It was actually funny because not only was Purdy out on those 3 plays, but I think for the first 2, McCaffrey was also out because he was getting his knee taped up.
I think you're right.
And the offense was just devolved. It went back to whatever the prior form of it was. Without those 2 guys on the field, I don't want to watch the 49ers without Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey. Please, that's the last I want to see. And Sam Darnold's a great guy, I'm sure. That's the last I want to see of him.
Evan, we were talking last week. Remember how there was a lot of stuff that happened off the show where you displayed knowledge that impressed the boss? I think 2 or 3 times it happened. Remember when the boss said, "Look at Evan," and I'm like, "What do you?" And I said, "What do you mean, look at Evan?" He goes, "Well, look at the big brain." I'm like, "Dude, get to know your employees. This guy's smart." Anyway, how well versed are you on the home field and stuff? What happens if the Eagles lose tonight to Seattle?
Well, the 49ers still have the tiebreaker. There's
right.
As long as they win out, they have the 1 seed.
I guess my question is this: is it possible that the 49ers could clinch home field Would there be any chance the 49ers can clinch home field before the last game?
Yes.
And start Sam Darnold?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you do that?
You would.
Okay.
So I think it was it last year or the year before? I mean, Patrick Mahomes hasn't played. Quarterback's not playing week 17 or week 18 is not a new concept. So, no, Sam Darnold is going to play if the 49ers get the 1 seed by week 18.
By the way, that play that he made with Kittle that a caller earlier was talking about, that was pretty amazing. Where he just flip, boop, just a little. That was little backyard football.
It was kind of funny, though.
Eye contact and go.
I did feel a little bad for Darnold from this standpoint. So Darnold has the first play. He rolls out to his left, throws across the field. It's high. Kittle can't make the catch. But the second throw to Kittle was a catchable ball that he dropped. That was a little off target. And then, of course, Purdy, just drops it in the bucket. But Kittle makes a one-handed catch. He just bats it to himself.
Darnold's first throw was
Purdy throws a pretty
shaky.
catchable ball.
Who?
Purdy.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like a feather.
Actually, you know what? See, this is where I'd have to say, literally, a feather's hard to catch, though, Evan. It really is.
For who?
It's harder to catch than a football.
You got good hands.
You don't know whether it's going.
Well, then it just comes down to hand-eye coordination.
Feathers are hard to catch.
You can grab it with one hand. You just pluck it out of the air. A football, a little tougher to do.
Grandpa Daddy's in Hayward. Here he is. Bet's looking. God, the bet just looks better and better.
What bet?
I forget, but he'll tell us. What's up, Grandpa?
Hey, thank you, gentlemen. Happy holidays.
Same to you.
To all you guys. Evan, it's always a pleasure to listen to you. Like you said, Stein, he does have a lot of knowledge, man. Evan, he trips me out.
All right.
Thanks,
but I'm going to say this. I think actually, Stein, I think you're more correct about Purdy and Shanahan. I don't think Purdy has a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't have anything to prove. He's just disappointed that people doesn't really see him for who he is, so he works harder. The kid is just really humble, man.
No doubt.
He's amazing. Man, it really touches my heart to see a young man with such good manners and humility, and now he's getting all this stardom, man. So I really don't hope it goes to his head, and I don't think it will. And
I don't either.
Rocking it, Steiny. Yeah, Steiny, how's my $50, man? It's looking good, baby.
It's looking pretty good, Grandpa Daddy. Looking pretty good. Thanks for the call, my man, and thanks for listening as always.
Do you really think, though, that Brock Purdy is not, underneath the surface, a competitive?
Oh, of course.
I think he's got more fire to him than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
He just doesn't let it boil.
Actually, you know what? I forgot. That throw to Kittle,
Which one?
that did have some adrenaline on it. Darnold's passed it into his hands. That thing was fired.
Well, he's the most gifted thrower of the football since Steve Young. So.
Well, he ought to, it's great. He can throw a football like Nolan Ryan. I don't know if that helps you. Oh man, let's go to Matt in Oakland. What's up, Matt? How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing well, man.
All right. I just wanted to say, touching on growing up Purdy is Rudy, and going back to 1993 to one of my favorite movies, The Rudy Story. It's like watching Rudy all over again, but with Brock Purdy.
All right. I didn't see that movie.
Rudy?
No. Anybody want to explain it? Yeah, Rudy. I didn't see it. When the kid went to Notre Dame and they made up a story to make everybody feel good.
Oh, so you have seen it?
No, I just know that's what it's about.
I just read the Wikipedia plot.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's really hard to figure out after 22 years of talking about that movie that it's about some guy who, please.
I actually turned it off.
It's Vince Papale at Notre Dame.
No, it's
basically. Yeah, it is.
Oh, they basically made up that story too.
Exactly. I like facts. I don't like fiction.
Scored one touchdown.
Look, I noticed nobody's saying, no, Steiny, that's not what it's about. Hey,
we're getting over the shock that you just haven't seen it.
Nope. Nope.
Hey, we all have gaps.
Well, there's a lot of great movies out there that people haven't seen. I mean,
I was talking with a guy I was playing golf with the other day, and we both have something. We both just basically watch documentaries now.
Which one?
I'm watching a documentary on. It's my latest kind of. I don't want to say infatuation because that makes it sound like it. Then that I lose interest. No, that's something I've always been fascinated with. But I'm starting to get fascinated with with Iran and Persia. Believe it or not,
interesting time for it. So, I think if we're talking about, I just want to bring it back in if we can. Like,
anyway, I think it's important.
It is important. You know who else is important? Brock Purdy.
But how important?
Actually, this was a great question too. We're chopping this up.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, if you had to slice a pie chart of success,
okay,
where does Brock Purdy fall in the pie chart?
I think he's one to me, because the way I look at it, and we've kind of done this over the course of the year. So you got Purdy, McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle, Ayuk, and we always throw Trent Williams in there.
Of course. That's what Acho does, yeah.
Right. And so I feel like the way I look at it, because people think I tend to look at things a little negative, is what player of those six, if you remove them, hurts your Super Bowl championship aspirations the most? And if I had to answer it that way, in other words, you got to take somebody off. I would, my number, or you have to keep somebody on. I don't think you could win it right now without Brock Purdy. I think you'd have a lot of trouble without winning it with McCaffrey, but I do think for a game or two, you got Elijah Mitchell. I think you still would have a chance to beat a really good team in a really big game, but I think without Brock Purdy, I just don't see the Niners winning a big game against a really good team late in the season. I'm talking about late in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I didn't want at the beginning of this year to see any other quarterback. Or that's why I guess I was worried about the beginning of the season, is because Purdy was coming off of arm surgery,
right,
and I was afraid that he might not be able to go, or he'd be compromised, or he'd be different. Like, any team you take, well, I guess the Cincinnati Bengals are a little different because they're in the playoff hunt. But for the majority of teams, you take the quarterback off their team, they're done. And we saw that last year in the NFC Championship. Brock Purdy missed a game. He got hurt. They were done. Their chances are kaput.
Right.
Like, I don't think the 49ers would have it wouldn't be as nearly as good of a team without McCaffrey. I don't think they'd be able to reach their highest of highs without Trent Williams or Debo Samuel or Nick Bosa or Fred Warner.
Right.
But if you tell me that Brock Purdy, and God forbid, knock on wood, if Brock Purdy gets hurt on Christmas, I do believe they have no chance to win the Super Bowl.